व्रज प्रियं धर्म संस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय
राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर, शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। संग्राममय जीवन धरा पर विजय रथ में हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। हो समर्पण लखन जैसा, राम जैसा त्याग हो। भीष्म सा हो नियम पालन, शौर्य में अभिमन्यु हो। आपदाओं को कुचल कर वीर बालक हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। बुद्ध जैसे कारुणिक हो, धीर हम महावीर से। ध्रुव जैसे निश्चयी, सत्याग्रही प्रहलाद से। दुर्दम्य सारे संकटों में अग्निपथ पर भी खिले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी। बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु, जो दायक फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरौ पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीसति लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संहारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots. Turn off notifications, click on that. Click on the mute option, and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna to all our sadhakas. Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam, Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. There is only one scripture, the song of the son of Devaki. There is only one God, the son of Devaki. We are indeed blessed to be learning the Geeta from the Geeta Pariwar. This organization itself is a gift from the Almighty, is the vision and creation of our Paramapujya Guru Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj. In addition to memorizing the Geeta, these weekend Vivechan sessions not only deepen our understanding of the Geeta, but also empower us to live by its teachings, transforming our lives. Also, we request you all to share the links to these enlightening Vivechan sessions with your family and friends, so you can introduce them to this divine community and positively impact their lives. Today, we are having the third interpretation session on the 11th Adhyaya of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Request before we get going, since we are all connected to the internet, there might be some technical issues. If you face any such issues during this session, please try these steps before trying something else. If you're not getting any sound, please do plug in the headphones or increase the volume of your either your mobile phone or your computer or laptop. And chat box, if it is blinking continuously, so just tap the bell icon at the top right corner to mute the notifications. voice breaking or cutting, check your internet connection, or sometimes if the internet connection is flaky, you can move to a different location within your house, so you get a better connection. So if possible, use Wi-Fi instead of mobile data. If the screen is not visible, click on the start video in the Zoom window. And if the screen is blurry, this happens if the internet speed is slow, then you try switching your network either between Wi-Fi to mobile data or mobile data to Wi-Fi, or move within your location. If a Zoom suddenly closes, you can actually just rejoin using the meeting link. If Zoom keeps disconnecting, you always have the YouTube link, so you can join the session through YouTube. Okay, you can also watch this session. You would have gotten both the Zoom link and the YouTube link. Please do this. We just telling you these guidelines so that the Vivation session becomes very easy for you, and you can listen to it peacefully. Okay, now let us get started with the session. As the saying goes, Tena vina trunamapi na chalati. Without the Almighty's grace, not even a single blade of grass can move. So let us pray to the Bhagavan and seek the blessings. To recite the Prarthana, we have Srimati Shashi Rekhaji with us. Shashi Rekhaji is a homemaker from Mehboob Nagar, Telangana district. And she holds a bachelor's degree in commerce, and she is interested in doing social service. Associated with Geeta Pariwar since March 2024, Shashi Rekhaji is already offering seva as a texter and also as a trainer. Shashi ji, Didi, Jai Shri Krishna. I request you to recite the prayer.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Krishna. Vasudevasutam devam Kausajānūramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishna Vande Jagadgurum.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Thank you for the beautiful prayer. Really appreciate it. Yes. Now, it is time for Deepa Prajvalan. Let us ward off the tamas in and around us with the Jyoti. Shubham karoti kalyanam arogyam dhana sampada shatru buddhi vinashaya Deepa Jyotir namostute. To do the Deepa Prajvalan, we have Srimati Bhagavati Patel ji with us. Bhagavati ji is a homemaker and a yoga teacher from Ratnagiri, Maharashtra. She is interested in reading and teaching, associated with Geeta Pariwar since December 2020. Didi ji is offering seva as a trainer. I request Bhagavati ji to do the Deepa Prajvalan.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Bhagavati ji. Didi, that was simply divine. Thank you so much. Before we get started, just a quick announcement. Level 3 Sanskrita grammar sessions in all languages are scheduled for tomorrow, that is Sunday, October 4th. Details are available in our respective Geeta Pariwar WhatsApp groups. We request you all to attend the session in the language of your choice to understand the grammatical aspects related to Geeta chanting. Now it is time for the most awaited part of the session. Our speaker for the day is our respected Shri Vikas Vaidya ji Acharya ji. Vikas Vaidya ji is a multifaceted person excelling in both material pursuits and spiritual practices. He holds a BE degree in mechanical engineering and a PG diploma in management as well. He owns and runs an IT company in Pune. He has lived abroad for 12 years and he is fluent in many languages: Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish, just to name a few. On the spiritual side, he is a perfect balance of seva, sadhana, and satsang aspects of the spiritual triad. As a core member of the Geeta Pariwar, he mentors and trains sadhakas at all four levels, trains new trainers as well. He is involved in trainer selection and training for all four levels. Vaidya is also a member of Geeta Parivar's Pune branch. He imparts spiritual wisdom through the Vibhachan sessions and also teaches Vishnu Sahasranama. A dedicated spiritual practitioner, he has memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita, winning accolades from Shankaracharya of Sringeri Mutt. He daily recites all 18 chapters. That has been going on for over 5 years. That itself is a testament to his unwavering devotion. He also guides Geeta Vratis to prepare for the Sringeri Pitha's Geeta exam. It is indeed our honor and privilege to welcome Sri Vikas Vaidya Acharyaji to today's interpretation session on Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Respected Acharyaji, we request you to please enlighten our mind with your spiritual expertise. Jai Shri Krishna, Bhayaji.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vasudeva Sudan Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Siddha Swamiji ke charan kamala mein koti koti naman. We are discussing Adhyay 11th, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, wherein the Shri Krishna is showing his cosmic form, universal form to Arjuna. Last time we had covered up to slok number 25. 25th slok was Damshtra Karala Nichite Mukhani Drashtvaiva Kala Nalasannibhani Disho Najane Nalabhecha Sharma Prasida Devesha Jagannivasa. Further, slok 26th. Ami Chatvan Dhritarashtrasya Putras Sarve Sahaiva Nipala Sanghaihi Bhishmo Dronasuta Putrasya Thaso Sahasmadiyairapyoda Mukhaihi. 26 and 27 are connected, so we'll take 27 also along with it and we'll discuss these both sloks together. 27 sloka is Vaktrani Tetvaramana Vishanti Damshtra Karalani Bhayanakani Kechid Vilagna Dashanantareshu Sandrushante Churnitairuttamangihi. So Ami Chatvan Dhritarashtrasya Putra. Ami means these sons of Dhritarashtra. Tvam, you. Dhritarashtrasya is of Dhritarashtra. Putra, the sons. Sarve, all sons of Dhritarashtra. Saha, with. Eva, indeed. Avanipala, the warriors, the kings from Kaura's side. Sangho, the groups. Sangha is the group. Bhishma, Tama Bhishma. Drona, Guru Dronacharya. Sutaputra is Karna, as we know. Tatha, also. Asau, that. Saha, with. Asmadiyai, from our side also, not only our side also Asmadiyai. Api, also Yodha Mukhaihi, the chief of the war, from both the sides, not only our side, from our side also. And Vaktrani Tetvaramana Vishanti Damshtra Karalani Bhayanakani Kichid Lagna Dashanantareshu Sandrushante Churnitairuttamangihi. Vaktrani, the mouth. Te, your. Tvaramana, rapidly, speedily, rushing. Vishanti is to enter. Damshtra, the teeth. Karalani, terrible. Bhayanakani, very frightening, fearful. Kachit, some of them. Vilagna, becoming attached, getting fixed up or getting entangled. Dashanantareshu, between the teeth. Sadrushante, are being seen. Churnatai, getting crushed, getting smashed. Uttamangaihi. Uttamang, what is the Uttamanga? The best part of human body is our head. So Uttamang is the head. Now Arjuna is describing this horrible scene of that Vishwarupa, saying that I see all the sons of Dhritarashtra. Vichatman Dhritarashtra Putra, Sarve, all. I see Pitama Bhishma, I see Gurunacharya, I see Karna, and I see our warriors and all the kings who are here to fight. Vaktrani Tetvaramana Vishanti. All are rushing into your frightening, terrible mouth with terrible tusk-like teeth that you have. Quite a few are visible hanging in the gap between the tusk-like teeth. Nashta Karalani Bhayanakani Kechiti Lagna Dashanantareshu. Some are getting stuck in your teeth. I see their heads are getting crushed. Kechiti Lagna Dashanantareshu and Sandrushanti Churnita Rutnamangeshi. I see you are crushing them with your horrible, horrible teeth, crushing them, smashing them, making a powder of them. Terrible description of the Virat Rupa. Now, what are the teeth of God that Arjuna is describing or referring here? He mentioned about them in the previous shlokas also, that your teeth are horrible, terrible, all that. We human beings, we use our teeth to grind our food. With chapati or vegetable, we use our teeth to grind that and then gulp it down. God's teeth are his forces of destruction that grind everyone to death. With the passage of time, everybody has to meet that death. There is an English poem which reads like this: though the mills of God grind slowly, though the mills of God grind slowly, yet they grind exceedingly small. They grind exceedingly small. Though with patience he stands waiting. Death keeps waiting for everybody. With patience, no hurry. Though with patience he stands waiting, with exactness grinds he all. Nobody spared. He grinds all. Arjuna sees the great Kaurava generals Bhishma, Dronacharya and Karna, also many of Pandava generals gushing headlong into the mouth of Lord, to be ground between his teeth. He is beholding the imminent future in the cosmic form of God. In this world, people have friends and enemies, friends and foes, isn't it? God is neutral. God is neutral and he operates his laws relentlessly with total detachment. This world is a stage where everybody is to perform his role and then leave. This is a stage, come, perform your role and take an exit. The one who have played their role become redundant. In this end or destruction aspect now that Arjuna saw in the Vishwarup cosmic form, it is this end that he is seeing now. That people are performing their roles and taking an exit. As we see in the stage plays, characters come, they perform their roles and then they take an exit. In this war, not only Bhishma, Dronacharya and Karna and all other hosts of kings and chief of Kaurava's army are hurling themselves into the devouring, all-eating fire of death. Pandava chiefs and warriors are also meeting the same end. Paramatma is not partial. He is crushing both warriors from Kaurava's side and from Pandava's side as well. These super great men are to vacate the scene for the successive actors to enter the stage. आप जाओ, आपका काम हो गया नाटक में का, you go now, new characters will enter. This practical exposure has left no doubt in the mind of Arjuna that the reality of this life and about the falsehood of our ego. We keep creating our ego for nothing. We have to play our role and take an exit. As simple as that. However, we must note here one thing, that Shri Krishna did not show Arjuna his son Abhimanyu entering that fire-emitting mouth or Abhimanyu getting crushed between the teeth. If Arjuna would have seen that, then Abhimanyu also getting crushed, his head getting entangled in the teeth of Vishwarupa, probably he would have run away from the battlefield there only. So very clearly, Shri Krishna did not show Abhimanyu entering the mouth. Now here the doubt may arise. that the warriors that whom Arjuna saw entering into the deadly mouth of God were very much standing there on the battlefield. All Dronacharya, Bhishma, Karna are all standing in front of him, and here he is seeing that they are entering into it and God is crushing them to death and all that. Then how Arjuna saw them entering the God's mouth when they are all standing in front of him in the battlefield? The clarification is that God had asked Arjuna in the beginning of this adhyay to behold, to see whatever he wanted to see in the cosmic form. You can see the past, you can see the present, and you can see the future as well. Whatever you want to see, you can see. Arjuna was seeing the future now. That his great opponents were going to get killed in the battle. Indirectly, meaning that the victory was for Pandavas. Arjuna's question in the beginning, first adhyay, second adhyay, as we know all questions from Arjuna, one of the questions he had raised was, we do not know whether they will win the war or we will win the war. Yadva jayema yadi mano jayehu. We don't know, they will win or we will win. Now God is replying to that question of Arjuna. Arjuna, don't have any confusion. Yadva jayema yadi mano jayehu. Don't have any confusion. God is showing in his cosmic form who is going to win. All your enemies are going to get killed. You people are going to win. The Lord is beyond the time of time. So in him, the past, the future and the present are all happening at present only. The tenses are for us. God is Kalatit, beyond time. Brahma, the grandsire of Kauravas and Pandavas, as we know, was the son of Shantanu and Ganga. You know the history. To facilitate his father's wish for remarriage, Bhishma renounced his right to the throne of Hastinapur and also took a lifelong vow of celibacy, Ajanma Brahmacharya. This is called Bhishma Pratijna, that I will never marry in my life. However, Bhishma continued to support Duryodhana despite knowing that he was evil, he was on the wrong side, and he was trying to usurping the right of Pandavas, but he was committed to the throne of Hastinapur. He had given a commitment. Thus, Bhishma was also destined to die in this war of goodness versus evil, because he stood on the side of evil. So he had to die. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā described Bhishma's prayer to the Lord when he lay on the bed of arrows at the end of his life. When his body was shattered with innumerable arrows from Arjuna, he was lying on that bed of arrows. He says, let my mind meditate upon Arjuna's dear friend, dear pal, Shri Krishna, who obeyed his friend's command to drive the chariot to the center between the two armies, Senayor Bhayor Madhye. And while there, he shortened the lifespan of the opposing generals by mere glance. He just looked at us and we are finished. So Bhishma himself was aware that the consequence of fighting against the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna would be a certain death. There could be no other consequence, fighting against Shri Krishna. So God is not all goody-goody. In all 17 adhyayas of Bhagavad Gita, we see God as a very sattvic, good talking, very smiling face, explaining everything very politely to Arjuna and all that. This is the adhyaya wherein he is showing his ferocious form. He can become ruthless. Remember, God is not only the maintainer or creator, he is the destroyer also. Oma, creator, maintainer, and destroyer. Now he is showing the destroyer form of his now. The more we live the life of selfishness and separateness, Gita says, the more we live like monsoon moths, patangas that come in monsoon. When we go pursuing pleasure and prestige and power, we become blind and deaf to everything around us. Then we forget that we are running out of life as rapidly as a rain-swollen river runs into the sea. The river is going to lose its image when it enters into the sea. When this river enters into the sea, can you differentiate which is Ganga water and which is Yamuna water? It becomes one with the sea. Similarly, we are all rushing towards that death, when there will be no separation. When we look back at our life, we often get surprised how many years have passed so swiftly. Abhi, I was studying engineering and today I am already retired. What is this? This is why the spiritual masters always say, do not postpone the spiritual life even for a day. कल करेंगे, बात करेंगे. Don't postpone it even for a day. Every day lost is one we cannot regain. Time gaya to gaya. We cannot regain the lost time. We are moving closer to the death with every moment that passes. And once this realization penetrates our heart, that every moment we are going towards the death, then we will begin doing everything we can to go beyond death here and now. Then we will go on to the path of spirituality, that my time is limited now. But the mind needs this conditioning so very often to bring it back on the path of spirituality. That is why reading of Bhagavad Gita every day is a must. It keeps up reminding this, that our time is limited. In this limited time, if we want to attain the God, we have to be on the path of spirituality regularly every day. Now coming back to this shloka, this is the Lord in his most terrifying form, the personification of death. To those who follow the voice of self-will, who pursue their personal pleasures and profit at the expense of their family and friends, their community and their world, death often comes in the awful form of violence. That is the law. In a village, a grand fair was being held. When the fair ended, all the people, including the shopkeepers, the performing artists, the actors, dancers, they packed up and left from the scene of that fair. The place that was bustling with noise and activity in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening became empty by the night. Those who had played their roles had no reason to remain there. They played their role and then they exited. Their work was over. In the same way, in this world, everyone plays their role. When the role is finished, each one must enter into the mouth of nature, time. Arjuna saw all people entering, but we are also going to enter the same nature, same mouth of Lord Krishna. Nobody will see us, but we are going to enter the same fate. Though the cosmic vision, this is what was shown to Arjuna. This is what Arjuna saw in that cosmic vision. That even the mightiest warriors would inevitably perish according to the law of nature. He may be Bhishma, he may be Dronacharya, he may be Karna, anybody. Ultimately, death does not spare anybody. This destruction was revealed through Krishna's vast universal form. A farmer lights a lantern at night to work in his field. As the flame burns, hundreds of moths fly directly onto it. Even though they see other moths getting burned, they are blindly drawn to the flame by their own instinct, and they meet the same fate. They don't get any learning from the other fellow moths who are getting there and getting burned themselves. All are gushing there. Similarly, Arjuna saw the mighty warriors were driven by the destiny and their own future into the Lord's universal form. Just like moths cannot stop themselves from rushing into the fire, these warriors could not stop themselves from rushing into the destruction. It was the law of time and nature working through Krishna's cosmic form. This Krishna's cosmic form which was gulping down everybody there. Next sloka 28. Yatha nadinam bhavombumegas samudrameva vimukha dravanti tatha tavami narloka veera vishanti vaktranya bhivijvalanti. Further, Yatha means as, nadinam of the rivers, bhava, the many, bhava, bahu, many, ambuvega, waves of water, samudram, the ocean, abhimukha, going towards, dravanti is to flow, to glide, tatha, similarly, tava, your, ami, all these, naraloka veera, all the warriors of human Manushaloka, Vishanti, are entering, Vaktrani, the mouths, Abhijvalanti, which are blazing. So Arjuna is now further describing, Yatha nadinam bhombumega samudrameva abhimukha dravanti tatha davami naraloka veera vishanti vaktranya vivijvalanti. Now in this sloka, Arjuna describes these notable warriors who were striving for God realization, and they were doing their kartavya karma, prescribed duty. They took up the arm to perform their kartavya karma, their prescribed duty. Regarding it as their kartavya karma, they lifted the arm in their hands. By giving the example of as diverse torrents of river rush towards the ocean, so do these warriors of mortal world enter into your blazing mouths. All that Sri Krishna is saying is that birth is I, so is death. I am birth and I am death. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and I am the end. I am all beings, all deities, all mountains, all rivers, so on and so forth. We see it in 10th Adhyaya, Vibhuti Yoga, that God is everything. Arjuna is visualizing all these heard words in the form of that vivid, lifelike images. Yatha nadinam bhaumomega samudrameva vimkhadраvanti. The source of water of the river is the ocean only. Water evaporates from the ocean, gets into the cloud, falls as the rain on the earth, and shapes as flowing river. So the river has a natural tendency to flow towards the ocean from where it has come into existence. Finally lose its name and identity by merging with the ocean. In fact, they had no identity of their own even in the past, but they merely appeared separate in the form of flow of rivers. They were never separate from the ocean. They were a part of that water only all the time. तथा नव तथा तवामी नरलोक वीरा विशंति वक्तारण्य भिविज्वलंति. Further, Arjuna says, just like rivers, all the creatures rush towards the Lord to attain eternal bliss. But some of them, by identifying themselves with the perishable and unreal body, are engaged in the worldly pleasures and prosperity. So there are two types of people. In this shloka, Arjuna is describing those who are performing their kartavya karma. But those who are engaged in worldly pleasures and prosperity and thus by error accept their separate existence, they will be described in the next shloka. But there are other valiant devotees who, not taking any heed for pleasure and prosperity, march towards the God. Like the rivers is going toward the ocean. In order to attain the goal of human life, the goal of river is to get merged into the ocean from where it came. Objective of our life is to get merged into Paramatma from where we came. So this is a noble cause for which the warriors were fighting. Bhishma, Drona, etc. were such valiant warriors who entered the Lord's mouth blazing with fire of knowledge, jnana, and thus they become fiery themselves by attaining oneness with Him. Because of years of conditioning now, particularly by mass media that exists today in the world, most of us have become caught in a way of life that increases separateness fiercely. Everybody wants a separate identity of his own. Nobody wants to live together. Not only families, countries also. Now we find it difficult even to see the connection between our egocentric lives and the violence which threatens us today. How this tendency of human mind to live separately has created a violence today in the world. On every level, from international wars to domestic quarrels, to ignore or unite is to invite social chaos and destruction. Even the ideological difference between the two superpowers, or for that matter, any two countries, creates a mad armament race that we see in the world today. Every country wants to have access to the nuclear arms. Pakistan, Iran, everyone wants to have nuclear arms. Pakistan already got it. Iran wanted to have it. Every country wants the nuclear arm. Why? We read the news of nuclear arms available with many countries. We read in newspaper thousands of nuclear arms. Russia so many, America so many, India so many, Pakistan so many, France so many. We see the list and we make a summation of all the nuclear powers available in the world, nuclear warheads available in the world today. But we read it as a normal news. We are not shocked. The total nuclear arms on this earth are so much today that they can kill each person on this earth 50 times. And America and Russia are the biggest armament dealers, as we know. And unfortunately, who are their customers? The poor, underdeveloped, or developing countries are their customers. America seldom thinks that by this policy, they cripple the emerging nations by encouraging them to buy weapons. But money spent on buying guns and missiles means less food for that country, means less housing for that country, means less less medical attention to the people of that country who lack these essentials of the life. But the country is focusing more on buying armaments rather than focusing on this. How is our defense budget that everybody country wants to compete with? Going with the trend, we in India also now take pride in our defense export, that it has multiplied many times in last 10 years or so. When we pursue this trade in armament, profitable it may sound in the beginning, but Gita reminds us grimly that we are courting death. This courtship embraces more than immediate buyer and seller. It includes the manufacturers, it includes the intermediaries, even those of us who fail to raise the voice of protest on every warlike situation in the world. Everybody is responsible. But who will face the consequences? Our future generations. You see the war of Russia-Ukraine, or Israel-Iran, or Israel-Gaza, or India-Pakistan, or China, whatever. A few countries like America and Pakistan have become the two sides of the same coin. It may sound a little theatrical, but it is a fact. One country is propagating the violence, another country is supplying the armaments. Leo. They want to do business of war. China does the same, with its claim on half of the land and half of the seas in the world. And in all these grim situations, the United Nations behaves like a blind Dhritarashtra. Nobody listens to them. Gita reminds us to understand the tragic connection between the petty pursuits we follow with such narrow vision and the death and violence that torment our world today. But nobody wants to understand the message of Gita. That is the tragedy. Another big joke of the millennium is that in all this, when America is propagating wars and selling armaments and all that, they wanted to impose tariffs on India, not answering the question why they keep continue buying from Russia themselves, why they are giving business to Russia. They are imposing tariffs on countries like us. And on the top of it, Mr. President of America, Trump, is campaigning for Nobel Peace Prize. Biggest joke of the millennium. The way world is behaving today, nobody could have imagined a few years back that the world will go this way. But we are watching it. We can't do anything. So we can at least protest. And we can stand with our own leadership to come out of this situation. Nobody can force us into doing anything. Okay, next shloka, 29. Yatha pradiptain julanam patanga vishanti nashaya samruddha vegaha tathaiva nashaya vishanti lokas tavapi vaktrani samruddha vegaha. Further, Arjuna is now saying yatha, as. Pradiptam is blazing. Jwalanam, fire. Patanga, the moths that we discussed. Vishanti, enter. Nashaya, for destruction. Samruddha, with full. Vega, speed. Samruddha Vega, with full speed. Nashya, for destruction. Vishanti, are entering. Loka, people. Tava, your. Api, also. Vaktrani, mouth. Samruddha Vega, in full speed. So the second simile is now being given. Earlier we read about the rivers gushing into the sea. Now, patanga. Yatha pradiptenjulanam patanga vishanti nashaya samruddha vegaha tathaiva nashaya vishanti lokas tavapi vaktrani samruddha vegaha. In this shloka, Arjuna describes those warriors who, being engaged in worldly pleasures and prosperity, they joined the war in order to gain praise and kingdom, and they are illustrated by these moths, patanga. He says, as the moths out their folly rush headlong into the burning fire for destruction, even so do these people hurriedly speeding into your mouths for their annihilation, for their destruction. यथा प्रदीप्तेन ज्वलनं पतंगा विशन्ति नाशय समृद्ध वेगाः. Moths, they live in the green grass in the dark night of rainy season, being attracted by the blazing fire. In order to get the light, they rush into the blazing fire for their own destruction. If a person out of pity extinguished the fire, they feel very sad, because they foolishly think that they have been deprived of a great gain, fire, which was their death. तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः स्तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्ध वेगाः. Worldly people generally hanker after worldly pleasures, prosperity, name, fame, everything. They also think of these. Such warriors were with Duryodhana, his co-warriors, and all other such kings who were entering into the Lord's blazing mouth for their destruction. They are compared with these moths, patanga. That is, they were paving their way for the 84 lakh yonis of life and hell. It means that generally people hanker after the worldly pleasures, prosperity, praise, honor, etc. In order to gain these, they have to bear insult, dishonor, loss, worry. Yet they yearn for that. They are prepared to face any situation. Similarly, these patangas, they are prepared to face the death also. And this is compared with those warriors who are entering into the fiery mouths of Lord. A moth out of ignorance falls on the burning lamp. So does fish get caught on the fish hooks out of ignorance. But human beings, in spite of knowing the disastrous consequences of desires, kamanas, don't renounce the kamanas. How tempting is this delusion? We read Gita and understand with these examples. But what are we learning? Are we curbing down on our kamanas or our desires? Or we are behaving the same way like with these patangas are doing? Next. Leliyase grasamanas samantal lokan samagran vadanirjvaladbhi tejo virapurya jagat samagram bhasastavograh pratavanti Vishnu. Arjuna is describing all this. Leliyase. Leliyase, you are licking with your tongue. Leliyase. Grasaman, devouring, all destroying. Samantat, from all directions. Loka, people. Samagra, all. Vadaini, Vadaini are the mouths. Jvaladbhi, blazing. Tejobhi, by effulgence. Apurya, covering. Jagat, the universe. Samagram, all. Bhas, Bhas are the rays. Tava, your. Ugra, terrible, harsh. Pratapanti, or scorching, heating. Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, the pervading Lord, Lord Vishnu. So, Leliyase grasamanas samantal lokan samagran vadane jvaladbhi tejo bhirapuri jagat samagram bhasastavogra pratapanti Vishnu. Having described the entry of warriors into the Lord's mouth, river and patanga, two examples we saw, Arjuna now in the next two shlokas describes the Lord's terrible form and the process of destruction of these warriors. How they are getting destroyed. With your flaming mouths, chewing on all sides, licking and devouring them, O Lord Vishnu. Now it is not no more Krishna, it is Lord Vishnu. Your fierce radiance filling the universe with fierce blaze is scorching the world. Pratapanti. Leliyase grasamanas samantal lokan samagran vadanir jvaladbhi. The Lord was all devouring, the being of all the worlds through his burning mouths was licking them with his tongue from all sides. And if anyone was trying to escape with his tongue, he will push him back in the mouth and crush him to the death. ले लिए से ग्रसमान तेजो बेहरा पूरी जगत समग्रम भासस्तवग्रह प्रतवंति विष्णु. The Lord's radiance was very frightening. It was burning and tormenting the entire universe. The Lord controls the world with his majestic, magnificent forces of creation, maintenance, and destruction. At present, he is being perceived by Arjuna in this mode as all destroying, all devouring force that is engulfing his friends and allies from all sides. Being this zombie, he is seeing the future of events in the cosmic form of God. Arjuna sees his enemies being wiped out in the imminent battle. He also sees many allies in the grip of death from his side also. But mind you, as we discussed earlier, Shri Krishna is not showing Abhimanyu entering this mouth. Arjuna would not stand in the field for a second then, if you would have seen Abhimanyu also gushing into the mouth. See, Parabrahma being actionless is above these functions, which the Prakriti performs. Paramatma is not involved in any of these actions. Prakriti performs. But we must remember that Prakriti is also part of Parabrahma only. He created Prakriti. And he gets it done from Prakriti, who is a very obedient servant of Paramatma. Nature is an obedient servant of Paramatma. Imagine a massive forest fire. It happens in California and many other places in Australia also. It starts with a spark. But in summer, it starts with a spark. But soon the flames spread in every direction. Trees, plants, bushes are all swallowed by the fire without distinction. This tree is very good, so I will not burn it. No such distinction. Everything. Some are burned to ashes instantly, while others crackle for a while before falling. Animals flee in panic, but most are engulfed in that fire. Nothing can resist the devouring flames of that huge forest fire. Similarly, Arjuna saw the Lord in this cosmic form. It was like all-consuming fire of time. Warriors of both armies were helplessly entering his blazing mouths. Some were already destroyed, some were on their way, but none could escape. The entire battlefield was being swallowed by this great conflagration, symbolizing the inevitable destiny of all beings. Time will take all of us to that. Petrified by this spectacle, he is seeing now Arjuna, he is praying to the Sri Krishna in the next shloka. He is unable to digest this form of Paramatma, his good friend Sri Krishna. What is this form? When I asked for showing the Virat Rup, I never imagined that this is this Virat Rup. I thought the Sattvic form that I have been watching Sri Krishna of, it will be a glorified form of that Sattvic form only. But now this is not Sattvic at all. This is totally Tamasi form of Paramatma. But nothing is outside Paramatma. Sat, Rajo, Tamo, everything is Paramatma only. If you see that Paramatma is only Sattvic, that means there is some other entity which is Rajasic and Tamasic. But nothing other than God exists in this world. So he is everything. So Arjuna is now folded hand, he is requesting God, Akhya himeko bhavanugra rupo, namo sute devavara prasida, vijnādamichhāmi bhavantamadyan, nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. Akhya hi means, please explain. Akhya hi. Akhyan kar dena hum log kirtan pavajan mein. Akhya hi, that means please explain. Me, to me. Kah means who? Bhavan means you, aap. Ugra Rupa, very fierce form. Namo Astu, Namaskar, salutation, obeisances. Te, to you, Devavara, the great one among all demigods. Devavara, Prasida, be gracious. Vidnyatum, to know. Ichhami, I wish. Bhavantam, you. Adyam, the original, primordial. No, not. Prajanami, do I know. Tava, your pravrittim, the nature, the mission. So Arjuna is now saying, Akhyahi meko bhavanuguru rupo namostute devara prasida. Vidnyatamicchai bhavantamadya nahi prajamanami tava pravritim. Having viewed the Lord's cosmic form in its most terrible, horrible phase, in which warriors were rushing headlong for their destruction, Arjuna was obviously terrified and filled with curiosity to know who Sri Krishna really was. Is Sri Krishna driving my chariot? Is he my friend for last many years? Or is this Krishna who is killing everybody on the field, gulping down everybody, crushing down everybody to death? So what Krishna really is, he wants to know, and what he proposes to do. So he puts up a question. Such a formidable, ferocious form, O Lord of Lords, Devavara, please tell me, who are you? I offer my salutations, my obeisances to you. I bow down before you. You who existed before all creations, O gracious Lord, have mercy upon me. Prasida. I wish to know you in essence, O primordial, supreme being. For I cannot grasp your nature and your working. The way I am seeing you here, I am not able to grasp. Now, Arjuna had earlier requested to see the universal form. In the beginning of this adhyay, we saw the request from Arjuna, can I see your Virat form? And why is requested so? Because in the 10th adhyay, God has said all his vibhutis. 82 vibhutis is explained. There are total 192 vibhutis in the Gita, out of which many were explained in the 10th adhyay. And at the end of 10th adhyay, he said, I am holding entire cosmos in the small fragment of mind. So he got curious, Arjuna, that how is that form wherein he is holding everything in his a fraction of his. But when he requested to show his Virat form, he never imagined that this is his Virat form. When Sri Krishna exhibited it, Arjuna became bewildered and agitated. Having witnessed an almost unbelievable cosmic spectacle, he now wants to know the very essence, the heart of God's nature and purpose. Hence he asked the question, who are you and what is your purpose? Akhyahi meko bhavanuguru rupo namostute devara prasida. Arjuna says, the Lord revealed himself in his divine form as well as fearful form. Arjuna could not know the reality about him. Which form is real, that one or this one? So he asked who he was. Beholding such a terrible form, what could he do other than asking this question? But bow down his head. So he bowed down deeply to him, to that Virat robe, having a vision of his terrible form, licking the warriors, people from all sides and swallowing them, gulping them. Arjuna is praying now to him to bestow mercy on him. Be merciful. Prasida. Jagannivasa. Vidnyatamiccham bhavantamadya nahi prajanami tava pravritim. The Lord first of all incarnated himself in this cosmic form, in the form of world. So he has been addressed as a primal one. Arjuna could not know the Lord's motive in revealing that divine form as well as this terrible form. In the first few shlokas of this adhyay, we see all Rudras there, all Ashwini Kumar there and all that. Okay, very good. Good to see. But that was a different form and this is a different form. So he wanted to know his motive in that revelation and also what he wanted to do afterwards. And what he wanted to do afterwards. He wanted to know that. Arjuna says that despite all the images, forms and visions, I am seeing so very vividly, I am yet to know you in essence, O Krishna. Furthermore, he adds, I take no delight in any form of these visions. They don't impart any bliss whatsoever. It is said that in one in whose presence you feel elated, you feel joyous, and you feel peaceful, you know him to be your Guru. In the company of Guru, you feel all this. Now here Guru is not any form, but rather Guru refers to the God. But Arjuna's situation is strikingly converse. He is not feeling elated. He is not feeling joyous. and he is not at all at peace. No joy and no peace. Despite witnessing the Lord's cosmic form, Arjuna said, far from feeling blissful, I am overcome by fear and dismay and disquiet. Who are you? Who is standing in front of me? He thus prays to the Lord and pleads him to be merciful and reveal his real essence. Once a child was playing with his father in the courtyard of their house. The father wore a mask to entertain the child. We also do it many times, no? We wear a mask to play with the grandson or son. But when the mask looked frightening, the child became very terrified. Forgetting that it was his own loving father behind the mask, the child cried out in fear. Who are you? Please remove this and show me your real face. Similarly, Arjuna saw the Lord in his dreadful cosmic form. And now he's asking, please remove your mask. I want to see who really you are. Blazing with destruction, and could not recognize the gentle Krishna he loved so much. Trembling, he asked, who are you in this form? And what is your purpose? See, Arjuna is asking his very dear friend, Shri Krishna, who are you? Can a very fast friend ask his another friend, who are you? Can you imagine any of your fast friend knocking your door and asking you, who are you? Unimaginable indeed. But Arjuna asking, who are you? Okay, next. So God is now replying to Arjuna, who are you? Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā kālosmi lokakṣayakrit pravruddho lokan samahartumiha pravruttah ritepi tvan bhavishyanti sarve yeva sthitah pratyanikeshu yodhaah. So now what is explaining who I am? Arjuna had asked, who are you? Now Shri Krishna says, I will tell you who I am. I will tell you. Listen to me now. Kala. Kala is time. Asmi, I am. Loka, of the worlds. Kshayakrut, the destroyer. Pravruddha, great. Lokan, all people. Samahurdam, all destroying. Iha, this world. Pravritta, to get engaged. Rite, without, except. Api, even. Tvam, you. No, not, never. Bhavishyanti, will be. Sarve, all. Ya, who. Avasthita, situated or placed in front here. Pratyanikeshu, on the opposite side. Pratyanikeshu. Yodha, the soldiers or the warriors. So Bhagavan Vacha, God now says, so the Lord is asking Arjuna's questions, who are you and what do you want to do? Shri Krishna replies, I am the Almighty Kal, time. Kalosmi, the destroyer of all worlds. Now engage in the act of destruction and know that all these warriors placed in the opposite armies shall be slain. Even if you don't participate in the war. Ritepi, even if you remain rite, rite means to remain empty. Even if you don't do anything, all these people are going to get killed. Ritepi tvan bhavishyanti sarve. Evasita pratyanikeshu yodaha. All these opposing warriors are going to get slain. Even if you don't do anything. In response to Arjuna's questions as to who are you and what is your purpose, now God is replying. God reveals, Sri Krishna reveals his nature as all-powerful time, Kalosmi, destroyer of the universe. All events in nature ultimately get buried in the time. Time doesn't wait for anybody. That Oppenheimer, who was the part of the first atom bomb project, witnessed the destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, he quoted this shloka from Bhagavad Gita, saying, time, Kal. This is Kal for everybody. I am the destroyer of the worlds, Kalosmi. So God is clarifying three things here. One, I am the all-devouring destroyer, Mahakal. Two, at present, I have come here to destroy, kill people on this battlefield. Three, even if you decide not to fight, Ritepi, even then the warriors in the opposite camps are going to get killed. Now, just a moment ago, the scenario was that of Lord's cosmic form, and here he is talking about the war. What is the relation between the cosmic form and the war? The important aspect of death is being revealed here. Death is inevitable and will engulf everybody, every being. No one is immune from death. No one is immortal, and thus live your life in accordance with dharma. That is the message we must get. For now, Arjuna, your dharma is to wage the war. So Arjuna, don't shy away from your duty, your kartavya karma, and pick up the weapon. So it's God's plan of killing these people on Kurukshetra, but Sri Krishna did not even take the weapon in the hand. He had promised, I will not take weapon in the hand. God makes any nimitta matra to get his plan executed. Now here it getting it executed as Mahakal. Whatever happens we see in today's world, tsunami or volcanic eruption or earthquake or floods or droughts, pandemic, accident, they become a reason of death for those whose death call has come. The Mahakal of God acts through Prakriti. Here God is making Arjuna a nimitta matra to kill the unrighteous and re-establish the dharma. That was the mission of Sri Krishna. Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. Through this dharma yuddha, he wants to re-establish the law of dharma. Now we talk of dharma yuddha so much. Then we also hear another word in India, particularly jihad. So what is the difference between dharma yuddha and jihad? Dharma yuddha is for fighting the righteousness against the unrighteousness. It is fighting for righteousness against unrighteousness, the evils, the terror in the society. While jihad, it kills, it teaches people to kill who do not believe in their Allah or Khuda, or those who instead of Quran believe other scriptures, or those who worship places other than Makkah and Medina. They say they are anti-God, they should be killed. The purpose of jihad is not to uphold human values, but to make humanity bow in front of Arabs and Quran. It believes in holding the whole society ransom under the name of religion called Islam. Jihad is not God's act. It's an act of adnyani, ignorant people, under the influence of tamasi guna. While dharma yuddha is under sattvic guna. There is nothing sattvic about jihad, but there is nothing sattvic about dharma yuddha. So this is the big difference between dharma yuddha and jihad. 8th century onwards, Arabs believed in expanding their religion with the strength of sword. Hindus never expanded their religion. That's why though we are the oldest religion, Hindu, we don't have existence in more than one country. That too, this country also where we live, India, is not a Hindu Rashtra. Can you say we are in a Hindu Rashtra? We say no, we are secular. We are secular. We are not Hindu Rashtra. We are secular. Well, Christianity rules over 100 countries in the world. Islam rules over 56 countries in the world. And they bravely declare, we are a Christian country, we are an Islamic country. You try telling them that you are secular. Will they accept they are secular? No, we are Islamic countries. But when we say we are Hindu country, will everybody accept? Forget about others. In our own country, will people accept it? Try saying it today that we are a Hindu Rashtra, you will see riots all over in India. So this is a wake-up call for us. What are we doing? Well, coming back to the shloka, now Sri Krishna does not make any comment about his cosmic self. Rather, he states very clearly that death leaves no one untouched. Thus he says to Arjuna, know that all those present in the opposite camps will inevitably be subject to death, irrespective of whether you choose to kill them or not. Kritepi, you don't do anything, but even then they will get killed. In response to Arjuna's question regarding who he is, Sri Krishna reveals his nature as all-powerful time, destroyer of the universe. All events in the nature get buried in the time. So time controls and counts the lifespan of all beings. It will determine when great personalities like Bhishma, Dronacharya and Karna will meet their end. It will destroy the enemy's army arrayed on the battlefield without Arjuna participating in the war. Because Lord wants it to happen that way as a part of his grand plan for Dharma Sansthapanarthaya. If the warriors are already as good as dead, then why should Arjuna fight the war? This question is obvious, no? God is showing them they are getting killed. And he is asking Arjuna also to fight the war. Why? Sri Krishna answer that question in the next shloka. He says, Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samruddham mayaivaite nihatah purvamevo nimittamatram bhavasavvyasachin. In earlier shloka, slok 32, the Lord declared that even without Arjuna, the warriors of this hostile army of Kauravas would not survive. Then why then Arjuna should get engaged in himself in this carnage? Lord is answering to this question in this shloka and in the next shloka. He says, therefore, get ready to fight the war and attain glory. Gain fame by conquering the enemy and enjoy the prosperous kingdom. All these great warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, have already been slain by me. You are merely an instrument. Nimitta matram. Oh, Savyasachin. Savyasachin means ambidextrous. Arjuna, he was able to shoot arrows with both his hands, right hand and left hand, ambidextrous. So Savyasachin is ambidextrous. Shri Krishna has revealed to Arjuna his will that the Kauravas should perish and the kingdom of Hastinapur should be administered by Pandavas in accordance with the rules of Dharma. He has already decided the annihilation of the unrighteous and the victory of righteous as the outcome of the battle. Decision already made by him. His grand scheme for welfare of the world cannot be averted by any means. If God decides, nobody can dispose. We can decide and God can dispose. That is okay. He now informs Arjuna that he wishes him to be the nimitta matra or only the instrument of his work. God does not need help from humans for his work, but humans attain eternal welfare for working to fulfill God's wish. So God is asking you to become nimitta matra. If you become nimitta matra and fulfill God's wish, you get the grace of God. Opportunities that come our way to accomplish something for the pleasure of Lord are a very special blessing of Lord. It is by taking these opportunities that we attract his special grace and achieve our permanent position as the servant of God. God likes such bhaktas. We read in 12th Adhyay, Bhakto se me priya, that such bhaktas are priya to me. Now, God is talking himself as Mahakal. In this role, he is the doer of all actions. No man is karta. Kal is the killer. The dharma of Kal is to kill. The Kal is always unsparing and relentless. The main idea to be understood is that Kal, death, like life, is the part of Prakriti. Nobody can create life and nobody can create death either. Death, like life, electricity, nuclear power, or gravitational laws, what we see, air, etc. This objective force, we can only cause it. We cannot create this. Life, death, victory, defeat is beyond human control. It is ego which causes people to believe themselves to be the doer. It is to get rid of ego consciousness that the revelation was made to Arjuna. God's love for Arjuna is so great that he is showing his most odd enemies as already killed. He loves Arjuna so much that Arjuna's fear was, who is going to win this war? He is showing Arjuna, all your great warriors are going to get killed. So Bhishma, Drona, Karna, everybody. So Arjuna is not bound to result of action by feeling of the ego, which according to him could become an obstacle in moksha. So indirectly, God is telling his friend Arjuna that you are not the killer, I am the killer. The central idea is that the lifespan of all those warriors shown as killed was already over. And seeing that Arjuna would not become the victim of ego by believing himself to be the killer and thus avoid bondage, Arjuna saw that his victory and praise were inevitable, in which he had no role because these actions were predestined. It was already decided. The meaning of the word to rise and fight to attain victory means stand up from body consciousness to the soul consciousness. Become Nishkam. When you are a soul, who can kill whom? We learn from second Adhyaya also. And Chindan Shastrani and Nandi Pavaka, all that. Can a soul kill or get killed? No, we learned it from second Adhyaya. The real challenge is to write to that soul consciousness from our existing body consciousness. Nimitta matra bhava savisachan. This is important. This is an important message. Nimitta matra bhava savisachan. By this expression, God does not mean that Arjuna should perform actions only nominally. Naam ke vaste karo sirf, main kar diya sab. Not that. But it means that you should apply your full power. Arjuna should apply his full power and he himself should not take the credit for his victory. You work, but don't say that I have won the war. I have shown the result of war. That is, he should not feel proud of his achievements. Message to all devotees like us is that whatever power, whatever knowledge, whatever capabilities has been bestowed upon us by God, we should fully apply those, but we cannot attain God by applying our power. We can attain God only by His grace. Your knowledge, your capability, your power is of no use unless you have the grace of the God. Shri Krishna also encouraged Arjuna to be his instrument, Nimitta Matra, by reminding him of the exceptional skill that he has received in the art of archery from Guru Dronacharya. Hence, he addresses him with evocative Savyasachan, meaning expert archer who could shoot arrows with both his hands. God is showering his grace graciously on us. As a calf draws milk from one udder of the cow, but the God has provided 4. Similarly, God is showering his grace from all 4 sides. We have to become merely an instrument in his hands. Arjuna had to fight the war, therefore the Lord asked him to fight by merely becoming an instrument. He will get the victory. Similarly, we have the world before us. If we practice spiritual discipline by becoming only an instrument in the hands of God, we shall get victory over the world and attain the God. But we have to become at least Nimitta Matra. In a puppet show that we see, the children see puppets dancing, isn't it? Fighting and even winning battles in puppet shows. But behind the curtain, it is the puppeteer who moves every string. The puppets only appear to act, but the real work is done by the one holding the strings, not by those puppets. Similarly, Krishna told Arjuna, do not think you are the doer, you are a puppet only. The warriors are already struck down by the power of time. You are merely my instrument, like a puppet in my hand. Puppet should dance to the tune that the puppeteer wants to. If it doesn't, it will fall down. It will become dead with no purpose. Just rise and play your part. Further, Dronaincha Bhishmaincha Yadrathancha Karnan Tatha Jnanapi Yodha Viran Maya Hatatsvai Jahimam Vyatishta Yaddasvajeta Sirane Sapatnan. Drona Dronacharya, Bhishma, Pitama Bhishma, Jayadratha, also Jayadrat, Karnam, Karna, Tatha, and Anya, and others Yodha Viram, great warriors. Maya, by me. Hatan, Hatan is already killed, finished. Tvam, you. Jahi, destroy. Ma, do not. Vetishtha, get disturbed, get distressed. Just fight. Just fight. Don't get disturbed. Geeta Asi, you will be the winner. Rene, in this battlefield, Sapatnan is the enemy. So Dronaya Bhishman Jayadasancha, Karnan Tadhanana Piyo the Viran, Maya Hatatsme Jema Vidista, Yuddha Sujatasi, Rene Sapatnan. Slay Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, Jayadratha, Karna, and other brave warriors who are already doomed to be killed by me. Don't be afraid of anything. Fight, and you will conquer your enemies in this battle. Kauravas had many great generals fighting the war from their side. Jayadratha had a boon that whosoever caused his head to fall on the ground would instantly have his head burst into pieces. If somebody kills you, your head falls on the ground, his head will also burst into pieces. That was the boon he had, Jayadratha. Karna had a special weapon called Shakti given to him by Indra, which could slay anyone against whom it was used. But it could be used only once. So Karna had kept his reserved for whom? Obviously for Arjuna. Dronacharya had received knowledge of all weapons and how to neutralize them from Parshuram, who himself was an avatar of God, Parshuram. Bhishmacharya, as we know, had a boon that he would die when he chose to do so, Ichchamaran. And yet, if God wishes them to die in the battle, then nothing could save them. Ramayana says, Vindhyana indana paye sagar judai na neer pare upasa kubera dhara jo vipaksha raghubir. Raghubir यदि विपक्ष में है, meaning if Lord Ram decides against you, if Ram is not with you, he is in the vipaksha, then you may live in the Vindhyachal forest, but you will not be able to get firewood to light a fire. You may be by the side of ocean, but water will not be available for your use. You may live in the house of Kuber, the god of wealth, but you will not have enough to eat if Vipaksha Raghubira, if God is not with you. Thus, even the greatest arrangements for security cannot avert a person's death if the God has willed it to happen. Shri Krishna says that he wishes Arjuna to be the medium to accomplish his will and receive the glory of the conquest as a reward for his devotion. Just as devotees wish to glorify God, it is God's nature to glorify his devotees. Hence, Shri Krishna wants the credit of winning the war to go to Arjuna. He wants people to say after the war, Arjuna fought the war very valiantly. That he secured the victory for Pandavas. Great fighter, Arjuna. Great. In spiritual life also, aspirants often become discouraged when they find themselves incapable of removing the defects of anger, greed, envy, lust, pride, and all such negative emotions. Then their guru encourages them. He says, do not get dejected. Fight and you will conquer your enemies of your mind because God wants you to succeed. Your efforts will be nimitta matra, instrumental. While God will finish and God will provide all support, all power, all help for your victory by his grace. In this shloka, Shri Krishna is playing with Arjuna's mind. The Lord says, these men will have to die anyway. And moreover, I am the slayer, you are just an instrument. So abandon all doubts and get ready for the war. Taking an example of our daily life, a child stumbles on the chair and starts crying. The mother tries to assuage the child by saying, don't worry, my dear, I will hit back this chair. Which has struck you, I will hit back this chair. She takes the child's little hand in her hand and pretends to hit the chair. In Marathi, we call it hate, that means hitting the chair. And the child feels very avenged by this act of mother, this gesture of his mother, that he has also taken the revenge on that chair, which has caused damage to him, an injury to him. And he forgets the pain. When he feels that he has avenged, he forgets the pain. The mother manages to divert the child's attention, and this is precisely what Sri Krishna is doing here on Kurukshetra. So he says to Arjuna, do not worry about taking any onus on you and of anything on yourself. Just pick up your weapon and fight. So God says, kill those who already stand killed by me. Does it mean that if someone kills a person, it means that he is killed already by the God? The murderer will say, I have not killed. I should not incur any sin because God has killed him. Does it mean that way? No, this is not so. No one is authorized to kill or even trouble others. That also Gita preaches. He has the right only to serve others. Seva. We get this message also from Gita. And give comfort to them. If anyone has the right to kill every other person, there will be riots every moment in the world. And the world will be full of chaos and violence only. A person who murders or tortures others certainly incurs sin. Let us have no misunderstanding on this. But remember, of the warrior class. We are talking here of Kshatriyas, warrior class, and this dialogue is going on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Who by giving up his ego, pride, and selfishness joins the battle. As sanctioned by the scriptures, incurs no sin. If you are fighting the war, then you have to follow these rules. Then you will not incur any sin if you kill your enemy. But that doesn't mean you start killing everybody on the street. Gita never says that. This dialogue is on the battlefield. Because on the battlefield, he is performing his duty, kartavya karma. And Gita's main message is, don't run away from your kartavya karma, your duty. Ma vitishta yuddhasva. This is an important line. Arjuna considered it to be sinful to kill Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya, Bhishma Pitamaha. So the Lord asked him not to get distressed with fear of violence. He should perform his duty of waging the war. As he is a warrior belonging to the warrior class, and the war has been thrusted on him by his enemies, he didn't want the war. No sin he will incur for performing his prescribed duty. Jetasi Rane Sapatnan. Arjuna was not sure whether they will win or the enemy will win. Yadva Jayamai Divanu Jayu. So Lord, while revealing his cosmic form, said to him, behold within this body whatever else you want to desire. Yahi kastam jagat krustam pasyada sajaracharam mamade he gudakesha. We have learned that in the 7th sloka of this adhyaya. He saw scenes of victory and enemies' defeat. Arjuna also beheld Bhishma, Dronacharya, Karna and other warriors of the hostile army of Kauravas rushing headlong in the Lord's fire-emitting mouths. So indirectly God declared that Arjuna, you will conquer your enemies in this war. Imagine a teacher. Krishna is showing this. Imagine a teacher who already knows the results of the exam even before the students appear for the exam. Students have yet to enter the examination hall, but the teacher already knows the result of the exam. So teacher has already checked the answer sheets and knows who will pass and who will fail. Yet the students must sit in the hall and write the paper. They must perform their part, even though the outcome is already fixed. In the same way, Shri Krishna revealed to Arjuna, these great warriors are already doomed. The result is already decided by me. You only have to write your role in this story. Rise, fight, and fulfill your duty as a warrior. And that was what was Arjuna's reaction to this call of action. This is stated by Sanjaya in the next sloka. Today's last sloka we will take now. He says, Sanjaya Vacho एतच्छ्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाह कृष्णं सगद्गदं भीतः प्रणम्य. Sanjay is describing to his boss, his blind king, Dhritarashtra. Etat, thus, Shrutva, after hearing Vachanam, the statement, the speech, Keshavasya, of Lord Krishna, Krutanjali, Krutanjali is folded hands, Vepamana, Vepamana is trembling, Kiriti, Kiriti, the crown holder, that is the Arjuna, Namaskritva, saying Namaskaram, salutations, obeisances, Bhuya, again, said Krishnam to Lord Krishna, Sadgadam. Sadgadam with faltering voice, Gadgad. When your voice gets choked, it is called Gadgad. Bhita, fearful. Pranamya, Namaskar. So Sanjay is now describing this thing to Dhritarashtra by saying that, beholding the very terrible cosmic form of the Lord, Arjuna had asked him. In earlier sloka, he had asked, who are you and all that? And what do you want to do here? God had replied in the 32nd sloka that I am the Almighty Kalosmi Lokaksheku Prarudha, and I have come here to destroy. And in slok 33 and 34, God had asked Arjuna to fight and console him that he would win because his enemies had already been killed by him, by the Virat troop. Now Sanjay, he reveals to King Dhritarashtra Arjuna's reaction to Lord's statements. He says, having heard these words of Lord Keshava, that means Lord Krishna, the crowned one, that means Arjuna, with folded hands, Kritanjalira, trembling, Vepamana, overwhelmed by fear, addressed Lord Krishna after bowing down in a choked, faltering voice, Sagad Gadam, Bhita Pranamya. Here Arjuna is referred to as the crowned one. He had once helped Indra to kill 2 demons. As a token of his pleasure, Indra had placed a dazzling crown on his head. In this sloka, Sanjay refers to crown on Arjuna's head. Now, who wears the crown? The crown is a symbol of monarchy. The Sanjay deliberately uses the word to hint to the old king Dhritarashtra, blind king Dhritarashtra, that his sons and Kauravas are going to lose their crown. They are going to lose their throne to Pandavas. It will be Pandavas who will be crowned in this war. He indirectly wanted Dhritarashtra to stop the war, but Dhritarashtra did not get any hint out of it. He was only listening. He never thought about it. We should also not only listen to Gita, we should think deeply about what we are hearing. What is the God's message to us? Eta Chitra Vichanam Keshavasya Kritanjali Vepamana Kiriti. Arjuna was terror struck after beholding God's terrible cosmic form. He was more terrified when Lord declared that he was Almighty Kalosmi, who would destroy all warriors. So he began to tremble and bowed down to him with folded hands, offering obeisances. Namaskritva bhuya eva krishnam sagadgatam bhita pranamya. Time is the Lord's destroying power, which always keeps on devouring, killing all beings without exception. When Arjuna beheld the terrible form of Lord, he thought that Lord Krishna is the master of Kal, death, which devours the entire universe, destroys the entire universe. So except him, there was no savior also to protect him from the clutches of Kal, that is death. Only he can save. So Arjuna bowed down deeply to him again and again. Bhuya is again and again. The Vishrupa Darshan, the cosmic form of Krishna, God, in its both dimensions, the dimensions of divine beauty and splendor, and the dimensions of death and destruction, had delighted and frightened Arjuna beyond his imagination. As we discussed, imagine a child who loves his father dearly. One day the father dresses up in a huge frightening costume for a festival. The child sees him in this terrifying form, giant, glowing and overwhelming, and begins to tremble with fear. Even though it is the same father whom he loves, the child cannot recognize him and feels completely lost and confused. This is what is happening with Arjuna. Similarly, Arjuna sees Krishna's universal form, blazing with infinite light, filled with countless mouths and eyes, devouring everything in the time's path. The sight overwhelms him. The Krishna is the same beloved friend, the teacher. Arjuna's mind is shaken. He says, "Oh Krishna, I am trembling. My mind cannot bear this. Please show me again the gentle form I know and love." This slok captures the human response to the divine power, awe, fear, and longing for the familiar amidst the incomprehensible vastness of the cosmic reality. So Arjuna is going to request now. Arjuna is requesting that please come back to your original form. I cannot see this Vishwarup anymore. We'll discuss this further in the next session. Thank you so much for your patience. Jai Shri Krishna. Now the forum is open for you to ask your questions.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. To Dhanyavad Acharya ji for that wonderful session, and as always it was enlightening. And before we get started with the Q&A, just a quick announcement. L3 Samskrita grammar sessions in all languages are scheduled for tomorrow, that is Sunday, October 4th. Details are available, October 5th, sorry, October 5th. Details are available in our respective group, Geeta Pariwar groups. We request you to attend this session in the language of your choice to understand the grammatical aspects related to Geeta chanting. Now, it is time for Q&A. We request our Geeta sadhakas to use the raise hand option and turn on the video if possible, and it will be answered by our respected Acharya ji. Jai Shri Krishna, Acharya ji. Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna.
Manjula ji.
Yes, Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Krishna Rao Bhaiya ji. Please go ahead and.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My
Hare
question
Krishna.
is,
Yeah.
my question is, when Lord did not show Abhimanyu in going into the mouth of the Vishwarupa,
Yeah.
he must have seen that Ghatotkacha was going into the mouth of Lord Vishnu. Hello?
Please repeat.
Means I want to know,
Hmm?
Lord Vishnu did not show
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu entering the mouth of Lord Vishwarupa.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he must have seen that Ghatotkacha entering the mouth of Vishwarupa.
Hmm. There is no specific mention in any of the shlokas that he saw Ghatotkacha also there. Here the names which are given are of Bhishma, Drona, Karna and generals from Pandava side. No specific names have been mentioned.
Okay, that's what I know.
That's why Lord Krishna wanted to avoid naming Pandavas, rather the generals of Pandavas who are going to get killed. The mention is only that generals from Pandava side are also entering the mouth of that Virat route with no specific names mentioned.
Yes. Sir, can you explain me about
If Abhimanyu was shown in that Virat root that he is also getting into the fiery mouth of God, who is crushing everybody to death. Somebody's heads are getting stuck in his teeth. Arjuna would have run away from the battlefield there only. That myself is going to get killed. Better I don't enter into this war.
One more question I have. Sir, Jayadratha, that he has that some sapa.
Yeah.
What is that? Can you explain me that? He has got some.
He had the boon that anybody killing him, anybody chops off his head on the battlefield or anywhere, anybody doing that, his own head will shatter into pieces. That was the boon he had.
Oh.
So
That's
all these
why
warriors were having such boons. Bhishmacharya was having the boon of Ichha Maran. Dronacharya was an expert in archery, got knowledge from Parshurama himself directly. So all these warriors, Krupacharya was also Amar, immortal. But even then, all had to perish. Because as I said, Doha from Ramayana, if God is in Vipaksha, if God is against you, nothing in the world can save you. Nothing in the world can save you. So this is the message to all of us.
In the Kaurava side, only Kripacharya and Aswathama were alive.
Because they were immortal. But they had to live the life like beggars. living a life like beggar, it is better to die in the war, isn't it?
Yes.
But surviving like a beggar, a Kshatriya is feeling that better I die. But unfortunately, they could not die also. So that living is more painful than the death.
Yes. 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 Prabhuji. Thank you for your explanation.
Guruji, Bhayaji, please you can go ahead and ask the question. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir, the same in continuation with the last question, what Bhaiya has asked. Is that when we have a conversation with others, keeping in mind that where we are standing, like people like Krishna is not shown Abhimanyu's death to
Yeah.
Arjuna, stating that we should not. In that context,
Mm.
we should also follow to avoid any controversy when something arises for will be happening to our own people, and we should not stop telling them or something like that. Did you get it, sir? Get me?
Yeah, I understand your point. If some
Yeah, yeah,
tragedy is going to strike, if some tragedy
yeah.
is going to strike, better to avoid discussion on that tragedy. That is what you want to say.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Isn't it?
that's what,
So,
like in a normal human life, what we are experiencing, if we are open to that, this one, either we are blamed, or if it doesn't happen, either of the cases we are blamed. Whether it happens or not, the situation may arise such a thing.
yeah.
The situation may arise, may not happen, or it may happen.
Yes,
So in
yes.
that context, so choosy declaration is required.
Yeah, see, whatever is inevitable, our words, mere words cannot avoid what is inevitable.
Correct.
But unnecessarily to give this message to see, everybody knows that everybody is going to die one day. Nobody is immortal. Okay.
Correct.
But why to tell people that you are going to die?
Oh,
Isn't it?
yeah.
So by making him remember this time and again, you are putting him under depression. While everybody knows that everybody is going to die. But depression works against you. You lose interest in life.
Correct.
And we don't want to lose the interest in life, because if we lose interest in life, then how can we go ahead on path of spirituality? We have to have that utsaha, excitement of worshipping, of offering our devotional service to the God. If we are already dead mentally, then what kind of adhyatma, spirituality we can show in our life? Adhyatma is not a game for people who are mentally weak. It is a game for people who are mentally strong.
Okay.
And Gita makes us mentally strong.
Thank you, sir. It's
Thank
quite.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you. That was
Any other questions?
really a great message, Vikas ji, Bhayaji. You know, that mentally strong and living when we are actually living, that is very, very important.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you know, there's no
Otherwise,
point
you
in
can't do it. Yeah.
Yes,
That is a fact of life.
that's true. That's true. Any other questions from our sadhakas? If yes, please do raise the hand. Otherwise, we'll proceed further with the session.
You can reserve your questions, ask in the next session also. There is no
Yes,
hurry.
yes.
Anytime,
Correct.
anywhere, you can ask this question. From any of the adhyas of Gita, from first shloka to 700 shloka, any
Yes.
shloka, you can ask anytime.
Wow, Vikas Jivayaji, that's what, you know, you were such an inspiration, you know, when we were talking about your introduction, you recite the Gita and you're kind of like, you know, the Gita by heart, everything. So it is really, you are such an inspiration to us. And yeah, Krishna Rao Bhayaji, do you have a question?
Please go ahead.
Please go ahead.
I want to know from Acharya, Prabhuji, that how you read daily 18 adhyas daily. It is, I mean, I'm not able to assimilate. I don't know how we are able to daily read 18 adhyas. We are not able to read even one adhyaya daily.
You see, I don't read all 18 adhyas in one sitting. I read 4 or 5 adhyas while I take a morning walk on my terrace or in the garden. Then after my tea, before taking bath, I read another 3 4 adhyas. After taking bath, in Pujagar, I read another 4 5 adhyas. In evening, I finish the Gita, all 18 adhyas.
But
I read
any
it
case,
speedily. I don't read like we teach in the class. Yatha nadinam bhavam bhumega samudrameva bimukha dravanti. Not like that. when you are reading it every day, you're not teaching anybody, then you have to read it speedily. यथा नदीनां भवम्भुमैगा समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामि नरलोकवीरा विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यपि विज्वलन्ति यथा प्रदीप्ते ज्वलन्पतङ्गा विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः. With this speed you can read. Then it doesn't take more than 1.5 hours.
Law, it should have, means you are endowed with that spirit to read, but we are not able to read.
If you read every day, you will also get this speed. It's a question of time. You read every day and you will also attain automatically this speed.
Yeah, really great, sir. Really great here. Means,
No, nothing great. This is not my greatness. Sorry, this is not my greatness. It is the magic of reading Gita every day that you automatically get this. And once you start understanding the meaning of Gita, a video film start taking round in your mind. You start seeing the rivers going into the sea. So everything starts coming in front of your eyes. That is the way if you read Gita, it gives the utmost pleasure. That Gita is happening in your mind every time, every day you are reading it. Nothing can beat this kind of pleasure in life. I can bet on that.
Certainly, Prabhuji. So very nice of you. So very nice explanation.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you,
any other questions, please?
Acharya-ji. And if no other questions, I don't see any more hand raises.
Okay.
We'll proceed further. And yes, I would like to take a quick minute to thank the techno stars of the day, Neema Pandya-ji, Didi, and Deepak Gupta-ji, Bhaiya-ji, for coordinating so well, and our entire technical team and all the devotees who attended this session. Let us continue our Gita sadhana and attend these wonderful Vivachan sessions to enrich our spiritual knowledge. May the Bhagavad-Gītā be our life guide. Before we conclude this session, let us thank Bhagavan Shri Krishna for guiding us all along and for making this session successful. To do the prarthana, we have Srimati Jamunaji Didi with us. Jamunaji Didi is a business owner from Bengaluru. She holds a BCom degree. She is interested in music and chanting shlokas. Associated with Gita Pariwar since Jan 2025. She is doing seva as a tech star already. Jamunaji Didi, I request you to please recite the prayer. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes, sure.
Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Rajapriyam Dharma Samstapakam Veeram Krishna Vande Jagadgurum Krishna Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Very nice. Thank you, Jamunaji Didi. And it's your daughter with you. And I didn't.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, Didi.
Jai
My
Shri
daughter
Krishna,
also.
Didi.
She also Sadhak in L4 level, Didi.
Oh, very nice.
Very
And
good.
your name, Didi ji?
Manaswini.
Manaswini. Such a
Yeah.
nice name. Thank
Wonderful
you.
name.
Thank you, both of you. You sang so well together.
Thank you so much, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah. Now let us move on to recite Hanuman Chalisa and seek the blessings of Bhagavan Hanumanji. Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोज सगावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनि अहिंसा नारद सारद सहित अहिंसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कभी को बिद कही सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।